What's going on, everybody? I like Barry over in the chat. Barry, the wig lady's husband.
Barry had a great time at Hudson's.
Do you not hear that, Tommy?
That's me. Sorry. Yeah.
Are you so...
My bad. I had the show on before I left.
Okay, yeah.
Come to the studio.
Like, what's going on here?
I was watching you guys as I was
just been auto playing all the way through.
Sorry. Barry had a great time when we were at Hudson's Bourbon Street last time out. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Yeah, wasn't he? He had to leave. They had to leave early.
I didn't say that. Tamara was
I'm pretty sure
taking care of everything.
I think I bumped into him somewhere. Where did I see him? Did he come in here? I saw him somewhere, and he was like, I said, hey, wait, what was the rest of the game? I was like, I had to leave. Come on, man. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, anyway, Barry had a great time.
Yeah.
Like, sincerely.
I mean, it's tough not to have a good time.
Tamara was like, time to go.
We have to get out of here.
I think he tried to give me like 7 high fives when he was leaving.
Tamara, the wig lady's the responsible one.
Yes.
In the relationship.
Yes.
It is the Oil Stream. We are brought to you by Boston Pizza, where I don't know if we're supposed to make it official or not, but Tony told us, so I'm just saying it.
Boom.
That poutine is staying on the menu. Yes.
See what controversy does?
I know. Yeah, exactly. You're right, man.
Yeah, people talk.
It's probably because of all the, Tommy, how good is this poutine? If Tommy Gazzola didn't even share it with his good friend.
Yeah. I can't believe he ate it all. What a jackass.
Now we can go back and share one whenever we want.
Oh, baby.
So we
might do that.
I mean, I wanted to come down and see the Nasties for game 3. Wanted to come down to BP, see Tony, but I really wanted to come down to just crush a poutine, then go home.
How was it?
It was delicious, man.
Met your standards.
That poutine. I mean, what do you need to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Bat 300? Mm-hmm. That thing's batting 1,000.
Directly into
I've never
the Hall
had
of
a
Fame.
bad one, even on the delivery, because we'll deliver it sometimes to the house or pick up and bring home. The poutine bats 1,000. That maple poutine is just absolutely delicious.
Full-time member of the menu. And I went with the Philly Dipper, which is kind of a new thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tony put me onto the Philly Dipper, and it was perfect. It was so good. I had cactus cuts instead of fries.
I saw somebody walk by me, one of the waitresses walked by me taking a Boston Brute to a table, and I almost was like...
You had order envy, as Jack Michaels calls it.
Yeah, give me the Brute, but then I was so happy with the poutine. I could not complain.
The menu's good.
Thank you very much to Curtis and Tony and the crew at Westgate Boston Pizza for all the love through the playoffs.
Yes.
It's been a hell of a run with you guys there. That's a good time. Tomorrow, where are you at? Bourbon Street?
Hudson's Bourbon Street.
Bourbon Street. That'll be a good time as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure many people will be coming in there to watch the Lions and Bombers game on TSN.
I will be.
But if you want to, I'm sure if you talk to them politely, they can at least have half the TVs on the Oilers game and then the other half on the Bombers-Lions game, which I will be calling at the time.
That's actually going to be a really good game.
It's going to be an awesome football game, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game.
I'm really starting to... I know they only played the one game against the Elks, but I think it's more so the Nathan Rourke effect. I'm really starting to look at the Lions with more respect.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
They took over in that second half last week.
Awesome second half. And you know what? They should have been up by more in the first half, too. Drop touchdown, turnovers on third down.
The Elks were up, but it was kind of fortuitous. Nick Anderson and Royce Metche. By the way, those guys were awesome.
Yeah, how was that on the hangout
I
today?
thought it was fantastic. I get excited around football players now, as opposed to, like, I don't get excited around hockey guys because you're used to, right? You know, they'll get the flow and the demeanor and all that. They're just guys. And I know football guys are just guys too, but I always get, like, I like football. I get excited about football in general.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, so what about this? What about that? And I have to, like, tell him, Tom, calm down. Relax. It's going to be okay. Just talk like a normal person.
If you missed it on the hangout, you got to go back and check it out.
They were great. I felt like it was a hard one when I was at, I'm like, hey, yeah,
what did you ask him? I didn't hear that.
It was like you had Snoop Dogg in there, and then, like, people going into this game were saying that the Elks were kind of sitting ducks and all this hype and this and that. You guys got the lead in the first half, but things kind of came unglued in the second half. And they were
That's
great.
That's just reality. I mean,
but I was like, I could have waited like another question to throw that at them. But then we got into other stuff and we're talking. The other thing too, that's the beauty of it. Like Royce Metche and Nick Anderson, they hung around here for a good 15 minutes. We were just talking about like good go-to spots downtown. Where like Nick Anderson's like, I got to go get some stuff. I didn't pack enough clothing. Like he's like, I can wear my Elk stuff, but I don't have. So like Nanso and I are giving them recommendations. Go to West Ed, go try this, do that. They're just dudes. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
I like talking to the football guys. I love it. It's just they want to chat with you. They want it. This is new to them.
Yeah, they're very grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And they don't treat it like it's a pain in their ass.
Exactly.
Even if it might be, they don't treat it like that.
Well,
so
yeah, but
that's a lot of fun.
They're getting to know the city, get to settle in, and it is cool. So big thank you to Evan Dom and Mike Arcuri for lining that up for us.
780-218-9999. It is the Oil Stream. We are live on TuneIn. We are live on iHeart. We are live at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We are live over on YouTube where the chat is already rolling. And you can fire us text messages there, 780-218-9999. People are wondering if Barry the cheater is Barry, the husband of the wife, the wig lady. And no, that is different. That's a different Barry. There's lots of Barrys. There's also, I think, Jen's husband's name. There's a bunch of Barrys.
Mm-hmm. And I think Jen's husband, Barry Cool, is like dominating the F1 fantasy.
Don't tell Gager this, but I haven't checked on that recently.
I haven't either.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just too busy to update my F1 lineup.
I'm just as guilty as you are.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Sorry. And he gets really upset.
I know. Sorry, Gager. I do love the idea of fantasy there, but it's busy and I forget, and then it pisses me off.
Yeah.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We'll get to some of your text messages. The Oil Stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza. We've got another on location coming up on the 25th. I have more details on that here just around the corner as well. All right. We'll get to headlines in a second. Get to the numbers game. But let's just start with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. What's expected? He plays game 3. He's playing game 4. Right?
I would think so, yeah. Same time. They listed him as game time decision, but even unless he re-aggravated or injured further, whatever, we think it's a wrist, was nagging him. He was supposed to be good to go for Thursday night anyway. I think he should be fine. I mean, there was a period of time in the third period where we didn't see him that much, but I think the game was so far gone that they were in garbage time. He did get a couple of shifts later on in the game, but I think he'll be okay. Enough to play.
Okay, so that's what you do. Without Hyman and with Nuge banged up, man, it just gets more difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I know I was listening to you guys with Wyshynski, and he was talking about the depth being exposed. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say that's not a factor. It's a dilemma you have to get over. And then I would also look at the Oilers' depth players who are veteran NHLers and say, get better. Rise up, guys. And they can, and they have.
I'll dive into more on the depth numbers with the numbers game because it's a little surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't, if I was looking at it from an Oilers fan's point of view, I wouldn't concede and just be like, oh, Edmonton's depth sucks. I'd be like, I would like to see more from those guys. They have a history of rising to the occasion. Please do it again.
Yeah.
Next game. Immediately.
Yeah, then that's you do need, not have it with, I just worry about the ability to put McDavid and Draisaitl together right now with Nuge being less effective because he's obviously banged up. I don't want to say it again, but it almost looks like you're getting nothing, but you're not getting very much from the rest of that group if those two guys are together, right?
That's fair.
It concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, that for sure. Totally concerning and fair. But and if you look at the entirety of last game too, you weren't getting much from anybody, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Oh,
seriously.
Last game, I said it to Huss today because Huss is still on the Oil. Like he's picking them to win.
I still think they'll win.
Yeah. And I said, it seems to me like a lot of the reaction for how the rest of this series is going to go is just being based on game 3.
Yes.
And not the first 2 games that were extremely well played, very evenly played games by both teams.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people outside of this market, I guess, and maybe those people would argue that, you guys are homers but I think a lot of people outside of this market are just like, this is how the rest of the series is going to go. And I think that's foolish of them to think that the Oilers are just going to roll over here now and play like this the rest of the way.
I agree with that. I think part of that mentality might be rooted a bit from game 2, maybe second period on. But the Oilers pushed back in the third period. They got that equalizer. And maybe it's easy to gloss over everything that happened in the third. And OT, Edmonton did have chances. I saw a text that came in earlier in the day that said, as much as the Oilers could be up 2-1, they could be down 3-0. That's how tight this series has been outside of Game 3. But you're right.
That's not wrong. I mean, that's how tight it's been.
Exactly. And that's a fair statement. But I agree with Huss and maybe that thought that, the Oilers are in trouble is just directly going back to what happened in Game 3 where they put themselves in a hole and opened the door for the Florida Panthers to walk in and stomp all over them.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. RCN says, guys, the Oilers depth guys were playing above their head for 2 months. The magic has worn off.
I don't agree with that.
I would disagree with that, man. I think you'd have to look at the opposition.
Yep.
I mean, they're playing the best, undoubtedly, the best team that they have played along the way here.
Yep.
And maybe they're in over their head a little bit against these guys, but I don't think it's just like, oh no, those guys aren't playing well anymore. No. I think it's just guess what? What they're facing against Florida is a hell of a lot better than they faced against the Kings. Yep. It's a hell of a lot better than what they faced against the Golden Knights, and it's way better than what they faced against Dallas.
100%.
So plus, I mean, we'll get to the bottom sixes here too, because it was acting like the Oilers' bottom six is getting torched by the Panthers' bottom six. And when it comes to goals, it's actually not the case. So we'll get into that. We'll get to the Popeyes headlines. Cale Makar wins the Norris. Take a look at how many votes Bush had and maybe have a quick conversation there.
LOL.
What change do you think Knobloch is going to make? Apparently he was going to make a change.
I think it is Stetcher. I don't think we need to overthink this. John Klingberg struggled. He straight up, he has. I know he was yelling and MFing the ref, and a lot of Oiler fans were too. But he bobbled the puck in the corner, got forced by Barkov, and then skated right into the ref. So I think that's the shining example of how tough things were going for Klingberg. But there were other moments too, a little bit delayed in making passes. He was being hounded by the Panthers forwards, and I think, it's caught up to him a little bit. So if they're going to switch things up, maybe you go to Stetcher, give him a look. And then, people had talked about, is Stetcher the nurse whisperer? Maybe. Do I like the proposition of nurse with Stetcher over nurse with Klingberg? Yeah, I do. Because it does have a bit of a track record. And you want to talk about magic wearing off, as opposed to that one comment that said the magic is worn off on the Oilers' depth. I would say it's more likely that the magic has worn off for John Klingberg in this postseason.
Yeah, to use that if we're going to use that term, I think that's not bad. I think it has to be Stetcher for Klingberg because I'm not sure what else you're going to do.
What else is there?
What would be the other move?
I know people would point to Jeff Skinner going in. They don't like what Tread Frederick is doing, and I don't think Kapanen was particularly great again. I think he needs to raise his level like he has at times in this postseason. But I said it, and I think Al responded yesterday, if I recall, because I was talking about Stetcher, or pardon me, not Stetcher, Skinner, Jeff Skinner, I don't think is suited that well for this type of hockey, where it's rough and tumble, big boy hockey, a lot of pace. I think he could find a way to have a good game, but I wouldn't put him in to be a solution of any sort.
If you want to chime in, you can text us, 780-218-9999. We do see AMG was saying, hey, boys, what are your lineup changes? Lineup change predictions for Thursday. We talked about if Knobloch is going to make one change, it might be Stetcher for Klingberg. Mm-hmm. What about the forward group, Tommy? Do you think not in and out, but what about changes?
Like mixing up the lines?
Yeah, like mixing up the lines a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know what the right combination is. It gets changed up so quickly anyway. But I think tomorrow...
I think I might throw Kane with McDavid.
Okay, yeah, I'm all right with that.
I think I'd be okay with Kane with McDavid and Perry.
I was going to say, you can have your four lines, and then you go into game 4 with that plan of executing on and giving these guys a steady rotation. You don't think that there's going to be as many penalties as there were last game, especially in the first period. And then you do a quick analysis, like 5 to 10 minutes in, and then you decide which guys are going, which guys aren't, and then you shorten the bench. That's what I would.
That's what might have to happen, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked this question last night on social media. And let me just get to it because there's a ton of replies, and we'll ask it again here. We hit on a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour of the show this morning. But yeah, the replies just continue coming on this one. Just a simple question. What is your biggest concern moving forward in this series for the Oilers? Shout out Dave Jameson, who replied and said, I don't have any. which is really good.
God, I love Jameson.
Tommy, what's your answer? What's your first thing that jumps off the page? Your biggest, my
biggest concern?
Yeah, the biggest concern. Like, if this doesn't go the way that Oilers fans want it to go, what is the biggest concern right now leading in that direction?
I would point to the collective mindset of the team in Game 3, where they get caught up in the wrong thing, and that's trying to get a piece
basically
of
you're saying Florida getting them off their game.
Yeah, that if they can check that at the door on the way into the building, and refocus on playing good hockey, getting back to games 1 and 2 style. Cleaning up their details, less sloppy compared to Game 2, then they're fine. That was one rare instance where we saw the Oilers get off their game and get caught up in it. You know what I mean? Generally, they don't. And that was one where it clearly took their game sideways and then ultimately sank it. So I'm looking at that. I think, the forecheck or the aggressiveness of the Florida Panthers, all that, of course, you got to worry about it. But it's if their mind and their focus is in the right place and they don't get distracted from that, that'll help guide them down the right path in terms of hustling, playing the right way, getting physical with the Panthers. Like, I think it's that mindset needs to be shifted. I'm worried or curious and concerned to see if they can get back into the right mindset, as opposed to too much of the garbage.
I think it's got to be the way they defend is what concerns me the most. Like, I still think they're going to score goals. We saw what they did in the first 2 games. Yeah, they didn't score many goals, but Bobrovsky is great in the first. He's an amazing goalie. He can stand on his head the rest of the series and doesn't matter anyway. But they got to stop giving up breakaways. Like, they got to stop letting these guys. It's too much. Like Jamie McLennan mentioned today, he goes, during a regular season, you should maybe give up 1 breakaway every 5 games. And then somebody messaged in this morning and said TNT had the stat last game. Teams have scored 8 breakaway goals on Skinner on 14 breakaways. Yeah. And that's just in his games. Yeah. Not including on the ones you have to stop. How many breakaways do the Oilers get?
Not many.
Right? Like
one every 3 games, maybe.
You need to stop giving up 1 or 2 breakaways every. So I don't necessarily like the way they're defending right now, and I think that would be my major concern moving forward, because I expect the offense still to come.
That's fair. And you look at the breakaways and the partial breaks that have led to goals, and it starts with a lack of focus, I suppose, to back up what I was saying. But you think of the plays, like the Bennett one yesterday. What did it start with? It started with Bennett smoking Podkolzin being stuck at the point, getting the puck, and then making a terrible attempt into the middle of the ice that gets intercepted and sent the other way. The 2 breakaways Marchand had in game number 2, both times Evan Bouchard was crossing to go backwards. He was doing his backward footwork crosses, and he was going towards the boards, and it opened up a seam for Marchand to cut through. I said he got caught flat-footed for a very generic term. And on the 1-2, there was also a bad play by Kapanen where he couldn't get a puck out, and that led to a goal as well. It's the focus and the details that's led them to be on their heels and cracks in their defensive play.
We're going to dive into the numbers game here right away, and then we'll get to your Popeyes headlines as well. I want to get to this text, though, from Waddy in Cloverdale. It says, after 3 games, the abundance of penalties have affected the Oilers the most. If you aren't on the PK or PP unit, you're not seeing much ice. It's absolutely killing the momentum of the game. Mm-hmm. And when they put the whistles away in the second, the role players who thrived in the first 3 series are now coming in cold at 5-on-5. 97, 29, and 2, played almost 10 minutes in the first period of game 2. If this continues, Knobloch needs to have a second power play unit he can throw out with some confidence because the Panthers' second power play unit is arguably better than their first power play unit. Whether they score or not, it's irrelevant. The idle time for those players is detrimental. That's a good, long, well thought out message.
Yeah, and the Oilers' second power play unit, or 1B, scored that goal the other night. It was Wallman instead of Nugent Hopkins, too. So even there isn't really a second unit. They have used them a couple of times, but the penalties are an issue for sure. Biggest concern, this text says, cannot have another off game. They still might lose if they are on, but they definitely lose if they are off.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Ontario Moms chiming in says biggest concern is the D-Corps' ability to protect the front of the net, move the puck. So essentially their main job as an NHL player. Nice, Ontario Moms. Good text. EMG asks if they need someone on Marchand.
Well, in what way? Like you're not going to shadow Brad Marchand.
No.
I mean, you just need to play everybody harder defensively.
Yeah.
And not let Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand's not a speed demon.
No.
Like he's not Connor McDavid breaking away from everybody. You're allowing him to get right up the middle of the ice.
They're giving him
like
great
you need
opportunities.
to defend better as a team. Here's the numbers game that I wanted to get to for our partners over at Play Alberta, where tomorrow we'll have obviously a full slate of bets for the Oilers game, just like we did yesterday. You probably already want to get on a Corey Perry power play point. It's always over 3-1, and it's pretty good. A couple of the plays that are up today, the early bird bet's already off the board because the Jays are already in action. My play of the day, Mets to win, Yankees to win, plus 145. And then the lock shop partner parlay, the golf parlay. Ooh, she juicy. 23-1. Sam Burns, Keegan Bradley, Sepp Straka, all to finish top 20 at the U.S. Open. Burns has been playing great recently. Straka's been playing great all season. And Huss was very bullish on Keegan Bradley today. So if you want, we hit a parlay yesterday or last week on golf. It was plus 950. This one's 23-1. It's a tough field. It's a tough course. But that's a pretty good.
Okay, I'm going to do a sprinkle right now.
Yeah, so just sprinkle it. Just a little sprinkle.
A little sprinkle.
Like, let's just say
that's your.
You don't need to get carried away, right? Even if you put just $5 on this thing, you would win $120.
I'm going to do exactly that.
Yeah, throw a $5 on it.
Throw a $5
and let's see what happens. If you've not yet downloaded the Play Alberta app, please do, and use our codes when you're looking for those bonuses. Deposit $5, use the code YEG50, you get a $50 free bet. Deposit $20, use the code EST Sports, and you get a $50 free bet as well. So there's been a lot of talk. I've been guilty of it myself. That the bottom 6 for the Panthers is just so far outplaying the Edmonton Oilers bottom 6. But at 5 on 5, I'm not sure that's technically the case. Okay, I went through all 3 games today, and Tommy, if I had to ask you, did you see my tweet about it? Don't look at it. I want to test you.
Okay.
How many 5 on 5 goals from the bottom 6s do each team have so far in this series?
And we count Marchand as bottom 6, right?
Yep. Yeah.
He's on that third line.
5 on 5 goals, though.
Oh, 5 on 5. One was Shorty. One was power play for Marchand. That leaves him at 2. Lois Arena doesn't have one. Liddell does not. Edmonton has Arvidsson.
Done. Stop there.
2-1.
That's it. It's 2-1.
Yeah.
The thing here is that the rest of these guys are contributing. Florida's top 6 is producing extremely well.
Yes.
And they're getting some offense from their back end. They've got 3 goals from defensemen so far. So the Oilers' bottom 6 is not getting crushed by what Florida's bottom 6 is doing 5 on 5.
Right.
Now, this is the thing is that Marchand and Luster-Ryan, some of these other guys are, involved in special teams, maybe a little bit more, making an impact there. But 5 on 5, the Oilers have 1 goal from their bottom 6. It's Arvidsson. And the Panthers have 2, and it's Marchand. And that's all we've seen from. Right. So I think if you can play patient enough, and your 5 on 5 group doesn't get in trouble, You can do what happened in games 1 and game 2 and play them extremely closely. I was sitting here this morning saying, like, oh, their depth's getting crushed. But at 5-on-5, Arvidsson has scored a goal and Marchand scored 2. It's not like those guys are getting killed offensively.
Right.
Now, the area where I do think you're seeing a significant advantage is at least last game, and I don't want to read too much into last game, but with Greer back, Gadjovic, Florida's third line, the Marchand line, might be the best third line that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. What were we saying that you guys were talking about with Wish? Like they would be a top 6 line on most teams.
All 3 of those guys would be top 6 forwards. And that line would be a second line on most teams in the National Hockey League. And they're basically outproducing or matching the production of the number 1s and number 2 lines.
Yep.
That's an insane level of depth so far. It would be huge for the Oilers if... the Kapanen's technically a top 6 guy for the Oilers. So it would be huge if you could get something else from the bottom 6. But I don't know if the bottom 6 is absolutely killing the Oilers, I guess is what I want to take away from the numbers game. Not taking anything away from Panthers' bottom 6. It's pretty damn good. But, at 5-on-5, it's not overly outproducing what the Oilers are doing so far. It's just they're taking advantage of some shorthanded opportunities.
Yep.
Marchand's been a beast, whether he's on the ice, shorthanded, power play, or whatever. He's been really good so far.
He's a little menace.
It's a good way to describe him. Can you remember a team that had 3 guys that are so good at what they do in the vein of Tkachuk, Bennett, and Marchand? And most teams would kill for one of those guys who can piss you off, who can produce. And I'm talking like elite level, drive you nuts. These guys have one of them on, well, not all 3 lines. Tkachuk and Bennett will play together, but they got 3 of those guys that most teams would kill for one. The others have one in Corey Perry, who's getting up there in age, but can still try to do it. And then Evander Kane, when he can be focused, not hurt the team, kind of capable of doing it a little bit as well. But it's
like Detroit had Draper,
Darren
McCarty, Marty LaPointe.
We're going back
Brendan
over
Shanahan,
over 20 years.
Jackass to play against.
It's over 20 years for that.
It was a long
team.
time ago. Pittsburgh would have Max Talbot, but he would kind of be a playoff mercenary. And in the regular season, he was a penalty kill guy.
Who does Chicago have?
Chicago had...
Somebody said Dave Boland, but I don't know if I put Boland in that class.
Dave Boland had wasn't it Chris Pronger that was who are you?
To Dave Boland?
To one of those guys. They had, in 2010, they had Ben Eager the one year. Ben Eager.
Yeah.
They have one good playoff. And no, it is annoying if you watch anybody playing against Florida and you look at the Panthers and go, geez, those guys are jackasses on the ice, but they're so good. Claude Lemieux could be that guy. And this is going back so far.
You're going back a long ways.
A long way, because to have that mix of jackass, jerk type of player to play against, but then also match it with that a level of skill is rare, and to have an abundance of those guys. Maybe St. Louis. No, St. Louis did. Because Braden Shen can do that.
Braden Shen can do it, but there are 2 other guys that can do that at that level?
That Cup final team.
If you were sitting here going, give me the top 6 or 7 guys in the league that you would describe as a pest, a rat, but can also produce at a significant level. All 3 of these guys are in the top 7.
Yes.
They got 3 of them on one team.
Tom Wilson is not a pest or a rat.
No, but Tom Wilson produces and can do that type of stuff.
And jams it down your throat.
Does Washington have 2 more of those guys? No. Nobody has these 3 guys.
Yeah.
It's
worked.
It's worked big time.
You got to figure out a solution.
Got to find a way to get through it. Troll says the Canucks had Burrows, Kessler, and Bieksa.
Those are good
2011.
ones.
Yeah, that might be the closest of the comparisons
that
I've seen.
Good point.
So far. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. Chief Andy Dusty, stick to calling football. Your takes on hockey are outrageously ridiculous. Blaming the team for giving up breakaways.
Oh, Chief Andy's coming at you.
All because
Weird.
Stu can't save one breakaway. LMAO, get real.
Is that Chief Andy getting his shots in?
He's actually made 6 breakaway stops in the playoffs. He just has to face one every single game, as does Pickard. And Pickard does stop them at a better rate. But do you start Pickard just because he makes better breakaway saves?
Non-starter.
Also, Chief Andy, I'm going to block. Just kidding. Just kidding, Chief Andy. I'm just messing with you. All right, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in on this conversation as the Edmonton Oilers look to reset and play a game like they did in Game 1 and Game 2. And, preferably even better than they played in Game 1 and Game 2 and come back to Edmonton with a 2-2 series tie and regain home ice advantage as well. Let's get to your Popeyes spicy headlines. Talk a little bit about the Norris Trophy here. Quick update on the Tecmo League. Oh, I just clicked it up. Brett Favre, 300 yards passing. Oh, Maddie is just destroying YouTube Trev right now.
Oh, no.
It's 35. Blocked field goal. 34-7. That's very disappointing from Trev. Awana could go to one game above 500, 4-3.
He's having a tough season.
It's a tough start to the year. He does like playing with Brett Favre, though.
You're 8-0?
I'm 8-0, yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's a good start.
I did stream Mario Kart earlier. 3 people watched.
Did you stream Mario Miro? I didn't know you did that.
I just tried it. Okay.
That's funny. All right, so Cale Makar takes home the Norris Trophy.
Okay.
Do we have the list of who voted for who? I'm curious which writers gave Bush the third place votes, and are they local guys? I'm very curious about that. I know you get to see them all, right? I was trying to look for it online.
Yeah.
Usually people will be like, here's the full list of who voted for who.
I haven't seen that.
And I haven't seen it pop up. It's got to be somewhere, though. Somebody have that, send it to us.
Evan Bouchard, 2 third place votes.
Yeah, so who were the 2?
4 fourth and 7 fifth place votes.
But I really want to know if the 2 third place votes were from somebody local. The Norris Trophy went down like this. Makar, Werenski, Hughes. Makar had 176 first place votes. Werenski had 13. Quinn Hughes had 2. That was all of them.
There's a landslide.
Josh Morrissey finished 4th in voting, but way behind. Victor Hedman was right there. Then it dropped again to Rasmus Dahlin. Then it dropped to Thomas Harley and Slavin and Hudson and Jake Sanderson. And then Evan Bouchard comes in 11th in Norris Trophy voting, 1 spot ahead of Adam Fox. But I need to know who the 2 votes were for Bush in the top 3.
Yeah. Thomas Harley being 7th in Norris voting is a bit surprising. Like, I think that's a recency bias. Because, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's going to be a very good defenseman. Maybe he does win a Norris in a couple of years. But he was on nobody's radar until Four Nations Face-Off. When he was brought to Team Canada, people were like, who the hell is this guy? And then obviously he kind of arrived, quote unquote, on the scene in the National Hockey League. So that surprises me a bit.
Do you think Bouchard deserved third place votes ahead of Hedman and Morrissey?
The answer is no.
Quinn Hughes and Werenski and Makar?
Absolutely not.
So I got to know. I got to does somebody, they have, I tried to find the PW.
Does Raider Jesse get a vote in this?
The PWHA website.
He loves Bouchard.
Just Tony from BP's hearing that Bush had 2 third place votes.
Oh, he's
passed out right now.
The universe just sent his heart a shockwave.
He passed out right now.
Yeah.
But usually they throw out who voted. Like Saravalli will put it out or somebody will put it out.
I haven't seen
And I haven't seen the breakdown of votes for that one just yet. But I feel like is it local people trying to make a case for Bouchard? Because
I'm trying to think who here.
I mean,
loves Bouchard.
His regular season doesn't deserve a third place vote. He's been good in the playoffs. I've really liked this game in the playoffs, but I mean, there's no way
I don't
think deserve a third place vote in the Norris Trophy.
I feel it'd be out of market. Those 2. I don't think it'd be people here.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, we got to get to the bottom of it. I won't be able to rest. I won't be able to get on a plane to Winnipeg in an hour and 15 minutes without knowing
Focus on the tendies, okay?
I am excited for those tendies in Winnipeg tonight, but yeah, it'll pop up. I'm sure that list will come out this afternoon, and then we'll see. I'm going to say that at least one of them was local.
I think neither one of them's local. That's my guess.
So, yeah.
Because
this is where I wanted to go with the conversation.
Unless it's somebody who gets a vote that I'm like, how did you get a vote and what game are you watching?
Okay, maybe.
What are you thinking?
Well, like, does Bush ever put himself into that finalists?
He could.
Category. That's what I'm like. That's the conversation I wanted to have. Now I'm sort of sidetracked by finding out who are the two guys who gave him a third place vote. But if he puts up a 90-point season and he plays in his own end how he's played for 90% of the playoffs.
That's the formula.
I think there could be a path there to probably not winning one,
but being in the mix.
Like legitimately getting those types of votes.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that.
That's logical. It could happen. Say he just, it clicks in his mind or whatever. He puts himself in a great headspace and he's not focused about his next big contract. He just goes out there and plays and he feels assured in his ability defensively. And he, we talked about how he's finished the last couple of seasons, not this one in particular, very strong in his own zone. And then obviously offensively, if he would do that for the majority of an 82 game season, he would get legitimate consideration and votes and be a finalist for the Norris Trophy. Like, I think that's part of what's frustrating about Evan Bouchard is you see the good and then the offense that comes with it is so sweet. But then the bad is so rotten and so frustrating. And you see him like kick at the puck after he makes a mistake and it's in the back of the net. Or you see him hustle off the ice faster than he backchecks after a goal against off of one of his turnovers. If he can eliminate those types of moments and just put together a solid season in concert with his offensive production, he could easily be in the mix. The guy gets a lot of attention because of the offense.
Yeah.
Right? People are already watching him. Voters out east, he has an audience with them. If he dials in the defensive side of things from day one of the season and the offense continues to do what it does for him, he would be in that mix.
Yeah, this text comes in and says, playoff Bush might be close to third in voting, but the guy we saw this regular season should not even be close.
Perfect point.
EMG over in the YouTube chat. If you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We'd very much appreciate it. Bouchard can get in there if he plays more consistent in the regular season. Then somebody said out-of-market people only looking at stats probably put him in the top three. That's my guess. But the Northside Sound replies and says his stats this regular season aren't even as good as the guys who are above him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
and
RCN is sending in screencasts of people who've put out their own votes.
Oh.
And just to confirm, Mark Shag had Bouchard fifth.
Okay.
Willie G. Ramirez.
Oh, I think we had him on this year on the pregame.
He had
Anaheim?
He had him fifth. DMB did not have him in the top five. DMB went Makar, Werenski, Morrissey, Hughes, and Harley.
Yeah, the Harley. That surprises me about Harley from DNB.
Coach Mike says, when does Hedman fall off? He had 66 points as a 34-year-old.
He's like, he's a Viking too.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's helped me win 4 consecutive Juan Rincon hockey pools.
That is a prestigious award.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's ever won. Nobody else has ever won 2 in a row. I've now won 7 of our first 11 and 4 in a row. I have Connor McDavid. It's kind of unfair.
That does help.
But I've kept Hedman for all these years. I think everybody's like, you're going to hang on to him again. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And he just keeps... Like Victor Hedman, from the moment he was drafted, I remember being at that draft, he has been exactly what you want in a franchise defenseman.
Yeah.
Like, is never in trouble in his own end, is an absolute giant, can contribute rather significantly offensively, but is not going to be Cale Makar. Hedman is a stud.
Please tell me that this is the logo of the Juan Rincon Fantasy League.
Yeah. That's our guy.
Look
man.
at that image.
That's him. Yeah, that's a great picture.
Just a super happy camper.
We have that. I put that in all of our draft guides. And then inside my championship rings, which I get done with Furby at Legend Rings.
Yeah, you do.
Who also is the owner of all of the Popeyes.
Yep.
In my championship one Rincon rings, if you look at the photos of Rincon on Google, there's another one. Not this one. This is my wedding ring.
Oh, okay.
Let me just check. I don't think Rincon is inscribed on the middle of my wedding ring. It should be when you win 7 of them.
Yeah. Images?
Yeah, there's the one where he's pointing to the sky. Keep scrolling down. There's one where he's pointing to the sky somewhere.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, and that's on. Oh, he's throwing a ball there. There's another one where he's pointing to the sky, and I have that inscribed like inside the ring.
See.
It's pretty sick.
Point to sky.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, there you go. I gotta spell his name right.
That whole thing started on my stag in Vegas. We're in Vegas, and we were watching the Blue Jays farm team play.
Yep.
And it was dollar beer night. It was like Wednesday dollar beer night.
Vegas 51s?
Yeah, out at a nice stadium and stuff.
Cashman Field. I remember going there.
So we were there. There's 8 of us. It was our first night of my stay. You know how it is on a first night. You're like, oh, let's take it easy. Let's go to the ball game, have a few beers.
Oh, sure.
So we go to the ball game. It's dollar draft night, like big drafts for $1. And we're crushing them. Like just crushing them. And then we notice on the roster, we're like, it's like Juan Rincon. I was like, damn, that's Juan Rincon who played for the Twins. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So I'm like, that's Juan Rincon who played for the Twins. So we were on him. And he was just in the bullpen, but we're on him all night. All night. Like just Rincon on him all night. And I swear to God, he gets in like in the 9th inning. Can't remember if it was mop-up duty or it was still critical time. But Rincon gets in and we gave him like a round of applause and supporting him. And I remember before that, he was warming up one of the left fielders. You know, they're just kind of.
I love when they palm the ball from the bullpen. Yeah.
And we were chirping him. We're in his ear. We're only like 6 rows away from the dugout in the bullpen. And we're like, Rincon. And he turns to see us. And the guy had thrown the ball back. And he turns to look at us. And we're like, turn around. And he turned around and it hit him in the chest.
No.
So then he gets into the game. We're giving him a standing ovation. And I swear to God, he gets in. He throws one pitch. And JP Arancibia takes him deep.
No.
And then they come and take him out of the game.
No.
And he comes walking back towards us after throwing one pitch. And we're still just standing ovation. It was legendary.
Was he smiling?
Oh, you know what? It was at the end of his career, minor league ball.
Care.
He kind of sort of smirked. And then my buddy Boom ran down and asked him how much it would cost to have him come out and party with us for the night. And he's like, I can't. We play again tomorrow. I was like, okay, fine. But then we went back the next night to the ball game again, and we roll in, and security guards come up to us. They're like, boys, tonight's a family night. Last night was dollar beer night, so you're just going to have to rein it in a little bit tonight. I'm like, that's okay. We're just popping in for a few innings, and we're going to Fremont. So
yes.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, and then after that, we're like, we should start a fantasy hockey league and call it the Juan Rincon Hockey League. And then now we have a football league as well.
Well,
all because of that beautiful bastard Juan Rincon.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's too good. Turn around. I did use Juan Rincon. I traded for him in MVP baseball 2004?
2004, 2005.
Yeah. And he was my closer for the Oakland Athletics.
And not to be confused with Ricardo Rincon.
Nope. It was Juan Rincon.
Who Billy Bean traded for in Moneyball.
That's right.
That was a different Rincon.
That was a different one.
This is not the Moneyball Rincon.
That's right.
It's just an average generic Rincon. And I do actually, I do have a photo of him signed, framed in my house.
As one does.
As part of the bit. So anyway, I guess we were saying Bush can finish top 3 in voting one day, you think?
Yes.
Ultimately, he could. You know, I think I will say, I don't know if it ever happens, but there's the outside chance that it could. Because if he's going to do it, he's going to have to play better than Cale McCarr and Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, Pennis Pancakes.
And one other guy, right? So
those guys can get hurt.
Maybe there's one year where he does slide in there. I mean, there was a rookie who had more votes than him this year. I got to worry about that guy.
Well, look who he beat out Adam Fox, who's won it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Rangers were a mess, though. A lot of it is things have to align to, like McCarr and Hughes will always be up there, but you could have that one that one year where it's just an anomaly and he takes advantage. It could happen. He's got the traits to make it happen. But
when we started Oil Stream today, somebody just tweeted at me a video from a huge fight in the moss pit.
Oh,
you see that one?
I think I saw.
Anyway,
it.
so then I hop on. I did the sports cage in Regina with Barney on Monday, and I hopped on, and the first question they asked me, well, we talked CFL, and then we flipped over to talk some Oilers, and he goes, hey, before we get to that, he goes, what do you make of all these fights and stuff happening in Edmonton, like Oilers fans fighting Oilers fans? And I was just like, here's what the deal is. You give some guys who are 19, 20, 21 years old a bunch of booze.
Yeah.
That's surprise. Like,
shocking.
The same thing has been happening for 50 years. So I'm not reading too much. I mean, it's any gathering, and it's not so much. I mean, everybody loses. This guy bumped me. Then he talked trash. Blah, 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 blah. And then everybody's fighting. Like, I want to say grow up, but if you just keep feeding booze into a bunch of guys in their early 20s, I think it's going to be a mess.
I think these
even
are like
younger
18,
too.
19-year-old sloppy drunks.
Yeah.
My experience walking through that moss pit, like when I leave Ice House to go to the game, I go right through it. And all the swag coming off of these kids, just dripping with swag.
Dripping with swag? What?
Alcohol dripping out of their pores. Like, it's just the worst combination.
What time's Moss Pit open? I mean, it doesn't matter because they'd be pre-drinking somewhere else anyway.
Yeah. But then they all it's really the kids that are in there, the ones that are the fresh 18-year-olds. And when you see them and you walk through and you're just like, oh yeah, I was dumb and stupid like that too. But you get all of them together like that, kind of penned up, keep feeding them drinks, and it's going to get stupid. And it does. I will say this, they have beefed up security. They clear it out pretty quickly. They've done
they've moved it along pretty quickly.
They've adapted well, but you're still going to get these.
I know it's going to it does look bad for the city, but it's not. It's like less than 0.2% of fans who are like that.
That's true.
And like for the most part, everybody's there just to have a good time, and there's going to be idiots in any group of anything, anywhere, really. And I don't know.
It is disappointing to see. Like I know where it comes from. There's the one channel, let's call it. Don't particularly like it. So
yeah,
but it does happen in other cities too. It's just unfortunate it gets blown up because of the situation, and people like to take shots at good old our town.
RCN says there's always voter fatigue with McCarr down the road too. Hashtag LeBron, hashtag voter fatigue.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
McCarr is so good.
He should, I mean, I ended the Nielsen show today on a bunch of LeBron rage. I don't want to end the oil stream on a bunch of LeBron rage as well.
Maddie and Belzy were all over you.
Were they loving that?
All over you.
They really hate when I point out obvious facts, eh? It's
I'm a neutral party to all of this.
They really hate when I point out things that are so clearly obvious. It drives them insane. But I mean, maybe they get to a point with voter fatigue. You know, some of the voting sometimes in some of these awards in the media, there's a reason that maybe one guy gets it over somebody else because, this guy's a great story and he hasn't won one and that type of thing. And then, of course, in the NBA, nobody will ever be allowed to win 5 MVPs ever again because that's how many Jordan had. And they will never, ever, ever allow them. Like, think about it. LeBron had 4 MVPs over 5 years. The one year he didn't get it, it was Derrick Rose. Probably should have been LeBron anyway. And then didn't have another MVP since then because one more would have tied him with Jordan. And that's why I say it all the time. And this will be proven true. I am so sure of this. Jokic has 3 MVPs. I thought he should have won it this year. Yep. Nothing against SGA. I thought he should have. But Jokic is allowed to win one more MVP. Jokic will never, ever get a 5th MVP. It'll never happen, ever.
What if he gets like all...
Doesn't matter. They will not do it, man.
What?
I swear to God. I'll tell you right now, and this is just for you because you're here with me at this moment.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
If Jokic wins a 5th MVP, I will give you a crisp $100 bill. That's how confident. And there's not even a bet. It's not even a bet where it's like, if he does it, no, you give me 10. I'm not giving you 10 once. I'm just telling you. If Jokic wins a 5th MVP, I'll give you $100.
If there's a wrinkle in this crisp $100 bill, I'm going to be so disappointed.
No, it's crisp.
Crisp.
It's straight from the bank machine.
Warm still.
It's going to one of those machines where you can select if you get 20s or 50s or 100s.
Yeah.
And we get 100 and we come straight to you and we say, Tommy, I was wrong. But it won't happen.
And then
I'm not even worried about it.
Let's go spend this at the BP's
I'm not
launch.
even worried about it. Yeah, we can go get poutines together.
Yeah, we would definitely.
All right, Zacticum, what's going up in ESC Afternoons, buddy?
Well, we got quite the money show coming up. Lots of Oilers Panthers discussion. Are we going to change the lineups? What's going to be going on here? They'll share their thoughts, Joaquin and Hernan. Tim Mulroney joining us to preview the Montreal GP. Inside the numbers for Play Alberta. And Jerry Ramsey from 107.7 The Franchise to talk some Thunder and Pacers game 3
OKC Thunder talk.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hashtag Association City. I love it. That'll lead into the Reed Wilkins show as well. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream today, brought to you by Boston Pizza, in part by Play Alberta, obviously, and Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. I have to board a plane in 45 minutes. So I'm out of here.
Get out of here.
That's going to do
travels.
it. That's going to do it. You guys enjoy the game tomorrow. If it starts going poorly for the Oilers, please flip over to TSN. I'll be calling the Bombers-Lions game.
I'll be watching.
A pretty good one. Dual screen it. Should be a good night. For Tom Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. I'll be back on Monday. Talk to you then. And hopefully we're setting up a Game 6. Take it easy.